Okay, so a concern for the Stoics, along with many individuals moving into the older population, is how will the healthcare be funded and where will the money come from? So specifically, our question focuses on how will the Stoics, Mr. and Mrs. Stoic, where will that money come from to support their healthcare? So they're both in their mid-80s, they live at home, but soon they'll be transitioning into an assisted living facility. So starting very broadly, in both Norway and Canada, healthcare is funded through taxes via public expenditure. So the public, the government collects money through taxes, and that money is used to pay for healthcare. So, and more specifically, in Ontario, all permanent residents are covered under OHIP, or the Ontario Health Insurance Plan, where the equivalent in Norway is Norwegian Health Economic Administration. The only difference between those two is individuals in Norway have to pay a deductible where when you're in OHIP, you do not. So Mr. Stoic has been to the emergency room 3 times in the past 2 weeks. So if he was living in Canada or Ontario, his visits would be covered, whereas if he was in Norway, he would have to pay a deductible on these visits. However, if this deductible exceeded 2,258 krona, or approximately $360 Canadian, the Norwegian government would actually cover the rest of his visits for the rest of the year. So now moving on to dental care. So in both Canada and in Norway, if the Stoics were to receive any dental care, they have to pay out of pocket. However, there is some exceptions. So in Canada, you do get free dental care. They're covered if it's an emergency and if it's done within the hospital. Whereas in Norway, there is an exception if you've been living in an assisted facility for 3 months or more. There's a chance that your dental care will be covered.
Okay, so in terms of home care, they're kind of similar. Norwegians use the tax dollars to pay, and they'll pay for you to go into a public home care system. The only exception to that, since they do have both public and private systems, if the immediate vicinity that you're living in, there is no equivalent public institution, then they will pay some of the money for you to live in a private one. But other than that, the public option is the option that would be covered by your tax dollars. So in Ontario, the government does pay for a wide range of home services if you do qualify. However, you do not qualify for it, you can still qualify for community support. Usually it just comes with a deductible, so they wouldn't pay the full cost, but you would still get a portion of that covered. Now looking at Mrs. Stoic, one of her health issues is macular degeneration, so it's vision problems. In Ontario, she can receive 1 optometry check per year, and that will be covered by OHIP, as well as any additional visits that the optometrist deems necessary, so any follow-ups that are in addition to that 1 visit would also be covered. In Norway, however, these payments are all out of pocket and they don't cover optometrist visits. Mr. Stoic is also on blood pressure medications. There are currently over 4,400 medications that are covered for individuals who are over the age of 65 in Ontario. So that's the Ontario Drug Benefit Plan. While in Norway, similar to medical care, there's that deductible. As soon as the costs exceed 2,258 krona, then the patient may use an exemption card to stop incurring further costs. Mr. Stoic now has to regain his mobility, so that can be done through holistic care, physiotherapy, chiropractic visits, things like that. Older adults may be referred by a physician for holistic care, which would deem the cost covered by OHIP in Ontario. Norway has a little bit of a different understanding of the word holistic care. It's seen more as a state of mind rather than an actual medical practice. However, they're equivalent to it. They will not cover the treatment unless it's deemed by the physician to have a, quote, significant meaning to your treatment, And in many cases, it's entirely up to the physician, so it's totally at their discretion whether or not they think it's meaningful. There's no set in stone criteria to meet that. It's just whether or not they think that it would be of use to you. So after looking at all the different types of healthcare and how they're funded, one recommendation to be made for Canada would be to follow Norway's lead in terms of having that deductible. We just think that it would stop unnecessary and non-emergency visits to a healthcare provider, and it may take a little bit of burden off of our own emergency care system, while at the same time reduce waste and deficits. Whereas for Norway, our recommendation would be to include some sort of free medication system for older adults, as they still have to follow the same as everyone else. For in Ontario, we do have those medications that are free for older adults. So this will make it easier for them to access it, medications to make it less of a burden, and they might have more adherence to it if it's easier for them to access. So in conclusion, there are many different facets of healthcare that Canada and Norway both excel in, and I think they can both give and take a little bit from each other to